So you're here today to learn about Nearpod. Nearpod is essentially a alternative to PowerPoint. It's a really nifty way of using an actual presentation software that is connected to the cloud, which allows participants to join in and actively participate in your actual presentation. One of the presentations that by default is provided to you is a getting started presentation, and we're going to work through that today from the perspective of a student. So all of you are going to be active participants in my session here today so that we can see some of the capabilities and capacities of the product itself. And then once we're done all of that, we'll go through the process of actually uploading or creating an account for yourselves and getting in there. There is a silver version, which is a free version, allows you to go in and use it on any given time. We have 6 licenses left currently at the college for a pro license, which we're currently on a pilot kind of testing stage. So first come, first serve, just forewarned. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll just kind of go through the activity of doing the presentation itself, connecting as a student. See what that looks like from the teacher's perspective up here. I'm going to try and show you what things look like on an iPad if the student's doing it. A couple of you are connecting through a device, so I'll be able to share my screen and show you what it looks like on the iPad for your students as well, and we'll go from there. So what we would typically do is we would actually go ahead and start this off, and we would actually share our code out to our students. So there's a little button in the top left-hand side, and it says share this code with your students. So what we're going to all do is we're going to, if you're on an Apple device, you're going to go and download the Nearpod app. And if you're not on an Apple device or a tablet, you're just going to open up a web browser, navigate to nearpod.com, and it will look like this. Find this. Okay. And you would actually click on join a lesson here, and you put in that code there. So our code is EKVFR. So we would put in EKVFR, and we would join. Okay. It will prompt you to put in a username and password. Once we're done and everybody's in, you should see, as the teacher, and what you're seeing on the screen in my share up here is the teacher's view. We see all of the participants that are active in the actual list itself. So these are all 7 of us that are in here, and allowing us to come in and gain access to that presentation. So I'm going to come in over here. This was EKVFR, because I want to see what this looks like from the student's perspective over here is here. What? Oh, EKVFR. Okay, and I'm going to put Orville here as a participant. And we see now that as I join, I see the actual presentation itself. But from the teacher's view here, I see that Orville now has been added to the list. Okay. And something else to note is that you actually see a little green dot beside each of these items. So that means that the actual focus or the actual attention of the students in the actual course is on there. So if you were to navigate away from the web browser at this point and do something else in a different app, that's going to turn to red. So what it does is, it doesn't immediately update all the time, but as time kind of goes on, and I take a look at that participants list, it'll show that someone is not necessarily looking at or seeing the screen. Probably not be there. So see 8, so Ali and Jeff now are not actually looking at my screen. So it's just a way to be able to gauge that, and you can always see that from the teacher's view in your participants list down over here, right? You also see the listing or the items of your slides, and you can see the contents of your slides if you wanted to take a look at that. And you can also hide your student names when you're looking at at things in here when you're presenting the actual materials that the students are engaging in. So hiding student names. So let's say, for instance, I don't want anybody to know who's responding to my particular questions or polls. So it'll hide the actual view from the students here. Okay. So now, as the presenter here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and navigate to the next slide, and you'll see in the presentation itself on your computer screen, it goes to the next slide for me. Right? So this here is a fun, interactive way for students to be able to instantly collect, share views, and see the actual presentation that you're working on. So imagine this in a different setting than just a regular traditional face-to-face one, right? So in a virtual classroom, how many times do you have a PowerPoint presentation that you want your students to view? Yeah, you can put it up onto the slide and they'll be able to see it in their environment. However, how about you just ask them to go to nearpod.com and put in your code and then actually be able to actively engage in the presentation with you without having to say, oh yeah, Timmy, did you get that? Or did you understand that? There's some elements to be able to actually ensure that they're there, ensure that they're listening, see that they're present in the actual environment, and engage in the strategy. Okay? So let's try it. We're going through this process, right? So we're going to simulate some classroom stuff here. First and foremost, it asks you to have your students join the class, which we've already done. So it presents a message saying, okay, let's connect another device if you want to. So if you want to, you can go ahead and download an app on your phone or go into a different iPad. So Jen, if you have a different device out there, you can go ahead and open that up. And you'll always be able to see that code in the top left-hand side, the EKVFR, so you'll be able to do it on a different device as well, okay? So as we're doing that, I'll let you kind of get through that. Your device should now be connected and the live session is here. And we've gone through this already in your student devices and we can see that from what this looks like over here. So notice in my other window that I had open, I should be able to see my content for the slides themselves. And it's kind of showing a different way of doing that, but oh yeah, it's going to be great for me. That's okay. So what we see is the actual slide being opened, right? So and I showed you where you can see your student list, and you can actually see where your PIN code is available to you in the top right-hand corner. But some things that you might want to use in the actual presentation is a video. Now, who here has stumbled with having videos launch automatically from their PowerPoint presentation, right? So you have a link, yeah, okay, no problem. You click on the link, and nothing happens. Or you have a video and you want to embed it. PowerPoint doesn't really do a good job of embedding video, right? So here's this. How about this? I'm going to go ahead and put in a video inside of my presentation. YouTube video, document, MP4 file, video that they've put on their site, whatever you want, okay? I can choose whether or not you're going to see it on all of your devices or only up here on my actual lectern. So we're going to say all devices. And as I go ahead, what happens is I can play this, and it's going to play on my computer and have the actual audio here. But
Nearpod has been a reinvigoration for me.
You'll see in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you should see an actual play button where you'll be able to play the video on your own and see the actual recording of that. Okay, so the video itself, it's a 2-minute video, so we can go through it. If you don't mind just pausing, don't play yours. I'll play it from up here so that everybody online can hear it as well. I'm going to let this play just so that we can see what Nearpod has to say.
Nearpod has been a reinvigoration for me as a teacher. I have been teaching for 35 years, and you need to reinvent yourself every so many years. This program has allowed me to bring in a whole new technology and a whole different way of teaching that I have not done before.
I love the way that the teacher controls the pace. Like I decide when they go to the next page and it's not an individual activity. I like that it's interactive at the same time learning, where the kids get to draw, play, see videos, trace, find numbers, write numbers. It's an interactive learning experience.
being the person that implements a lot of these tools and technology into the school, I'm constantly looking for ways that I know that the technology is working. And the best indicator for me is when the students ask for more.
I really like having the dashboard and being able to walk around and seeing what everyone is sending me, as well as walking around and seeing exactly what they're doing. And when they submit it to me, I can see exactly what they said and even push to the screen.
My first experience with Nearpod was when I had a guest speaker come to one of my classes, and he had the students answer questions. He could see their answers. He could get a poll for, 50% of the kids got this and 20% got this.
So after Nearpod, there was more hands-on in math class, which doesn't ever happen.
It was more fun to be there in class. Kind of got excited to go.
This is wonderful. I'm sure any other kid would love doing this.
Kids love it. When they see the iPads coming in, they're excited, and when they're excited, that gets me excited about teaching again.
I get to see this from the student's perspective, and I get to see this from the teacher's perspective. And the fact that it just works is truly magical.
Kids stayed here for almost 45 minutes, and for a 4-year-old to do that, that means this works.
So some of the examples that they had there are actual things that we're going to take a look at in the next coming slides here in the participation itself. Okay. So let's try some of these assessments that they're talking about in those engagement strategies. So first and foremost is a quiz. Everybody ready for a quiz on your device? This is not an easy one. I only got 50% on this one, so this is a challenge. So let's go. So from the presenter's view, you see the actual scores that are up here. So I want to hide my student names. There we go. I meant to hide my student names. So we don't know who's what. Okay, and what's nice is you can see an actual gauge in here as well of how students are doing, right? You can see a gauge of correct to incorrect responses as they're happening live, right, from the student's perspective. Getting more incorrect answers here. Come on, guys, we got this. We got this. So we got 9 correct, 14 incorrect.
Do we have to submit every time, every answer?
Every question you need to submit, yeah.
Okay.
So imagine how you can actually implement this in your class, right? You're going through a tough topic. You're kind of delivering a tough theory or a tough piece of content, and you want to gauge how your students are actually intaking that knowledge. Instead of saying, okay, did you all get that? What do you normally get if you just ask that? Yeah, blank stares, good stuff. This here, anonymous, right? So students are engaged, they're participating, they're providing all of their responses, so everyone is active and participating in that, and we see how you're doing that. So what you see is a couple of them. So we have 36 with no answers. I'm not sure if I'm connected here. Let's see here. I am. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my quiz as well. What is this? Our solar system consists of the star, all planets, moons, and others. I guess that's it. I think the 4 terrestrial planets are terrestrial. That's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The large foreign planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, are referred to as the large foreign planets, question mark. And terrestrial planets are generally made of solid matter. And I'll submit everything here. Okay, good stuff. So that's what it looks like from this student's view, right? And there we go. Oh, we're not too bad. We got 55 correct, 36 incorrect. And what we can do now is we can actually share that to students, right? So as I share that, this is how we've done, right? So we have 55 correct, 35 incorrect. This is how we're going to gauge that. So where did we go wrong? Let's we can find some answers from that. Okay.
No.
Okay. And then when we're ready to move on, we go ahead and move on. Okay. So here's the Draw It. This is a neat and nifty tool. So Draw It is an opportunity for students to be active in math. All right, so as I've just presented this to you, what this is it's a method for us to be able to actually draw and annotate on the screen. So you'll see on the actual iPads or the actual device itself, in the bottom left-hand side, you'll see an actual little window where you can click on the pencil and say, you know what, I'm going to give my answer here. So let's see how we do in math. Let's see if I can remember this. So 5x is minus 3x is equal to 10x, or 10, sorry. So this is going to be now, so 2x is equal to 10, right? I'm just breaking it down. So x is equal to 10 divided by 2, so x is equal to 5. How correct am I? Good. Am I done? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and submit. So now, as the teacher, I see I'm awaiting a number of drawings here still. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and just put something. It doesn't have to be the math itself, but anything, and go ahead and submit it once you're done. Okay. So as the teacher comes through, we see, okay, so there's some good stuff. Let's see, 2x equals 10. That's right. Yeah, so that's some stuff. But you know what? Oh, that's a nice little drawing. So what I can do is I can also open up and share an actual tool itself and say, you know what? Okay, so this is a great method. It's actually correct. Yes, it gets to the correct answer. But when I ask you to do my math problems, I want you to break it down into steps, and I want you to show me all the work and how you got there, how you step by step procedurally got to x equals 5. Right? So and once that's done, I would unshare that. It would be removed from your screen, and I would be able to then go through and review all of the different submissions. Next up is an open-ended question. Open-ended question is a tool that allows you to essentially ask any type of question that you want, where that provides a response. So based on our discussion today, tell me 3 things that you've taken away from the class. Or tell me 3 things that you want to see in a next coming tech session that's coming up to in the hub. Or 3 things that you like or dislike about Nearpod. It's really up to you. It actually asks a specific question, but let's use this time today to get some information for us to pull out with it. So when we're done, or as you provide your responses, I'm then able to go ahead and share. And what's nice about that, about sharing, so as I go to the next slide. Yeah, I can actually share that, and it's not necessarily running here, so just one moment here. Is anybody seeing that come up on their screens? It is, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can actually share the different responses. So you know, you can bring it up on the screens that are being presented, and it'll actually show those responses for the participants. Okay. And there's so much more that you can do, right? I'm just scratching the tip of the barrel in what the capacities in Nearpod have for us. When you do have an actual account, nearpod.com/webinars provides lots of webinars on different tools and different activities that you can utilize and implement in here. And this is how you would open it up. It would show the registration, and you'd be able to create and discuss the actual topic itself. And we're at the point right now where we're going to actually go ahead and create our accounts. The best thing for me to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and end my show here. So I'll get out of this show. And yes, I'm going to end it. And I'm going to go ahead and sign out of here. All right. So all of you can navigate to nearpod.com. And what we'll do is go ahead and click on Get a Free Account. Okay, so everyone's going to start off with a free account. And then from there, if you want to take a look at some of the extra features, like I say, the first 6 people will win a prize of the pro version of it. And if we need to, we'll extend the licenses for any others as well. So, all right, so we're going to say, okay, I'm a teacher. You can sign up with email, and that's probably the most recommended way if you plan on actually moving forward to a model where we have the actual account for you as well. So sign up using your Cambrian College email address. You can also create a brand new account using your Google account or anything else. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sign up with my email. You have to make sure you select I am not a robot. This is important when you're signing up for things. And then it says, I agree to Nearpod's terms and conditions. If you feel like reading it, please read the documentation that's provided. Follow the information, terms of service of what's being used, how it's being used, where it's being stored. Okay. And we sign up, and there you go. Here you go. Congratulations. You can start finding lessons to use. There's a large library of lessons and already pre-configured settings. So if you have topics that you're covering, Carol, I probably see a lot of these things in here for you. There's a lot of things inside of the chemistry and math areas for K through 12 students. So academic upgrading, probably a great resource for that. You can look through all of the different grades specifically. So you can say, I'm going to look specifically for higher ed stuff. And when we look at higher ed, it then brings us in to say, okay, what subjects? ELA, math, science, social studies, other. Let's find some science stuff here. Actually, you know what? Let's look at all of them. Okay, and it'll go through the process of finding it. All right, so here's some lessons that are provided for us. Here's 3. All right, so what is climate change? Some of our environmental folks might want to do that, so we'll select that. Estimating costs for college, if you're helping out students. Menu math and grocery shopping math. The great ice cream heist. So let's add a couple more here. And as we select those items, we can add them to our library, which is a library of your own. Okay, and we're going to skip our tour. So what happens is this is the getting started video that we were just going through. You can utilize that for an icebreaker activity for your students in your first class. Or you can actually go ahead and create and launch these live lessons that are in here as well, right? But that's not why we're here. These are great things that are available for us to be able to put in and post from other people. However, we want to look at creating our very own. So what we're going to do is once we click on here, we're going to select the new option, and we're going to say we're going to create a new lesson, right? And what's great about this is you can actually upload files. So if you've brought files on a memory stick or have access to them, you can actually upload the files right in here. I'm going to show you what this would look like. So if I was to go in and go into my P drive here, I think I have virtual classroom training here. Okay, this is as easy as it is. So I take my virtual lesson or my PowerPoint, I drag and drop it, I select OK. And what it does is it goes through and processes. We see that in the bottom right-hand corner over here. It's processing all the slides in my presentation that I already have. So you don't need to recreate the wheel if you already have a selection of slides that you present in your classes. This is a long one. It's taking a while. There we go. And okay, so there we go. So I can add other interactive content as I need to as well. So here's my presentation, slide 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when I'm ready to add different slides, like the interactive pieces, I go ahead and add a slide and I add what I want to add, right? I can add content, which is a slide, a Nearpod 3D, a simulation, a BBC video, a field trip, a sway motion, another slideshow, a video, audio files, PowerPoint PDF, a live tweet, a live Twitter feed. All of these things are content that would be able to be pushed out to students. Right? So I can select the video option here. All right, and I can select a YouTube video or find a YouTube video. So this is where it shows me, because I'm using the silver view right now, it shows me that, oh, okay, this is only part of the gold edition. You do have a 30-day trial. Do I want to start it? Yeah, okay, I'm going to start it right now. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put in my video. So we're going to go education, technology. Okay, and I'm going to say, you know what, I like this education technology video here. I'm going to put that in. Okay, and that video's there, but I want it to be actually the second slide in my presentation here. So I'll drag it over there. And then as I add more things, I can add web content, which is websites and information, or the things that we really want to look at specifically are activities, right? So an open-ended question, a poll, a quiz, a draw it, a collaborate option. This is something that's really neat and cool. Fill in the blank questions, memory test, right? Oh, I didn't want the memory test. I accidentally clicked on that. Sorry. We're going to let's add a collaborate. Let's see what this looks like, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and select a picture here. And I'm going to say, oh, I can search for a picture that I want. So let's say, education technology. And it brings a couple of images that I can open up. So here we go. Save that guy. I'm going to say, things you want. So enter. All right, so I do the things you want to learn about, and I like the corkboard. I'm going to use the corkboard and click on save. So we've added some of these things here. I'm actually going to bring this right up over here. What's nice about this is as I click on save and exit, I save and exit it, and I'm going to call this Orville's new session. Okay, we're not going to worry about the grades, but we're going to say higher ed and other. Okay. That then gets put into my library here. Okay, and I would like to take some time now to actually ask you some questions. So I've launched my first session. Yeah, I've got that. Yep, I'm good. I'm good. Let's here. All right, so if you don't mind, let's all navigate back to nearpod.com and join my session. Zofya. Zofya. Okay. Okay. So what I'd like to do, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to. No, I don't want that one. I'm going to put my collaboration here. There we go. This slide is a collaborate board, but would you like to approve student comments? No, we're not going to worry for that. So what you should see on your device, is a little image of an apple surrounded in a cord. Things you want. In the bottom, you'll see a piece of text where you can enter some things. I'd like you to take some time and maybe consider. I know that you've maybe want to comment about the session today, what you like, what you disliked about it, what I could do differently. What I would prefer to see, and this is up to you, I'd like to see suggestions for us to do different topics inside of the hub. So yeah, we're covering Nearpod today, but other elements of what you have. See Zoom and Nearpod, please. Awesome. Here. So when I go, I can create a student paste version. Okay. I can create a link. Right. Copy that link and put it into my Moodle site or share that via email. That link is then going to allow the students to go through that presentation anytime they click on it, anytime they want. So that doesn't require them to download a file. They won't be able to do that. And when they do that, though, if I'm not mistaken, let me see here. This here, I'm going to a new window. So it goes and prints the presentation. Here's Orville. Okay, and I get to go through that. What I could do if I needed to was I could right-click and, or I could just go to print my page. So, go File, Print. I could print things off one at a time if the student needed to print something. But yeah, that at least provides you the opportunity to share it with your students so that they always have access to it. Right? So it's not just a live session, it can be accessed. I'm going to take the time right now to thank you all for coming out. Thank you very much for your feedback and comments. If you think of other things, don't hesitate to email me or come even down into the space.